Hey guys! So I just got back from Vidcon and I thought I would tell you a little bit about my trip. And before I get into talking about all the awesome stuff I got to do, and it was really awesome, probably the perfect Vidcon I could have had, I want to acknowledge a little bit of the less awesome stuff that was happening. Vidcon was huge this year. I know you've probably heard. 18,000 people. And obviously VidCon knew that there were 18,000 people there because they sold that many tickets, but I don't think anyone could have imagined what that really meant. Lines got out of hand, people got out of hand, mobbed against walls, and the fangirl culture just got a little bit out of control. It was no longer really safe for YouTubers to walk around, and that kind of took away from the VidCon spirit. I'm gonna link below to Lex's video. If you don't know Lex, she's amazing. I really agreed with what she had to say about what happened at VidCon this year. The night before VidCon, we had been driving for 8.5 hours, and we got there too late for registration. So day one of VidCon, we woke up at 5:30 and got in registration line. It was amazing. I have to give props to VidCon just for being able to register 18,000 people that efficiently and quickly. I mean, from the time the line actually opened, we probably got through 500 people in half an hour. So then we walked into the expo hall, and the first thing we see is a TARDIS. And then we went to the photo booth picture. This year, for the first time, VidCon was 3 days instead of 2. Which was amazing because it meant a whole extra day of content, and it kind of meant that all the stuff you got to do got spread out over more time, so you might have more chance to do stuff and less stuff would overlap. Despite the awesome extra day, day one was a little bit slow. It was a lot of the industry panels, so we decided to get into the crazy line to see the British boy band. If you don't know, is Joe Sugg, Casper Lee, Alfie Days, Marcus Butler, and Jim Chapman. What was really cool was that the SourceFed line was right next to us, and so we kind of got to see all of SourceFed come by, and that was super cool. Our line and the SourceFed line just kind of had this empty space in between, and Sam Basher from SourceFed, for some reason, was just kind of walking up and down and saying hi to people and taking selfies, so we got to hang out with him for a while waiting for the boys to come out, and that was really fun too. So then the boys came out. The system was okay. The signing line for the boys was maybe 15 feet across, and then they kind of filed us in into 4 lines within that massive 15-foot thing. Except there weren't any barriers between the lines in the line, and then they decided to go horizontally instead of going down the lines. Then it just kind of became a 15-foot mosh pit. It was a lot of elbows and a lot of pushing and people not really getting to go in the order that they were in. You choose to go into a line, you choose to hang out with the people who you think would be interested in that. And I'm not saying that the people who are fans of the YouTube boy band are awful people, because of course they're not, and I'm a fan of them. They were just very passionate, and some of that became channeled into unsafe behavior. 2 hours after the line had started moving, we got to see them. It was so much fun hugging everyone and trying to make conversation within 2 minutes. And that's me awkwardly telling Alfie I really love his videos. And even though it was kind of scary and awkward, they were all so sweet, and it was so much fun, and it was so worth it. So then, after the signing, we went out to lunch, and who else would be standing in front of me in line for the food truck other than Michael Aranda? To say hi and chat for a little bit, and got this selfie. Now, that's probably my favorite thing about VidCon. I mean, as awesome as it is to stand in crazy lines and get to take pictures with people that you really admire, there is something really unique about just running into them in line for food or walking on the street. It's less rushed. You're a little less flustered, little bit, and it was just really fun. After lunch, we went to the afternoon main stage. Hannah Hart and Tyler Oakley introduced VidCon, and there was screaming. Hank and Sean came out, and there was screaming.
Wow! There are more people in this room than Hank and I on our Vlogbrothers channel had at the end of 2007, after we'd made 200 255 YouTube videos.
And then they announced Troy's new album, TRXYE.
Such a pleasure to announce.
And then Troy came out only looking slightly terrified. And then the Gregory brothers came out and did a very soulful rendition of Double Rainbow. And if you've ever been to Vidcon, or if you've ever been on the internet, you would know how special a place Double Rainbow has in our hearts.
All the way across the sky. Wow, wow, oh my God, look at that rain.
Everybody now.
Double Rainbow. Sophia Butler, Princess Tard, came out with Dana Richards, her piano teacher, and then Mommy Tard, and sang their beautiful song, Forever Love, and it was so cute, and they did such a good job. And then we all sang Happy Birthday to Mommy Tard, and Mommy Tard cried, and it was awesome. And then that night we went to the concert. Concerts at Vidcon are always amazing because obviously YouTube is full of these amazing musicians. It's amazing to see them live. Night one was a little slow compared to some of the concerts in the years past, but it was still awesome. It opened up with this guy. All of the sounds he makes are with his mouth, and it was super cool. And then Tessa Violet, aka Mika Kitty, came out, and she did this beautiful set. And it was super cool because we were front row. She took a picture. There we are. So cool. Then Driftless Pony Club, Wheezy Waiter's band sang, and they rocked. You know how I said that the lines for the boys and kind of that whole first day were a little bit crazy and out of control? Love about Vidcon is that they knew. And they didn't just run away, because I know that that happens at Playlist and security just kind of disappears. They sent out an email at like 2 in the morning saying that they'd been working on it through the night and that they'd come up with a new system for signings, and it was so much better. So day 2, we wanted to go see Louis, Fun for Louis Cole, is signing. We were really close to the front. Like I said, the lines you choose to go to are the people you choose to hang out with, and we got to hang out with some fun people. And we sat in line for a while, you know, as lines go at Vidcon. Signing started at 10. We were probably out of there by noon. Got this awesome picture. He was super nice, super chill. And then after Louis, we went to 2 panels, back to back. The first one was The Power of YouTube with Jack and Finn, John, Josh Sundquist, Tyler Oakley, and Hannah Hart. And they just really talked about how they are working to make a difference in YouTube and how they can really move their communities to affect change. And it was funny and interesting and really made me feel good about being part of that community. John was entertained by stuff on our heads.
Oh, there's something on your head. It's quite funny. I still like it.
And then afterwards was the Power of Vlogging panel with Dan and Phil and Louie and Shay and Olga K and iJustine. Shay and Olga K and everyone gave really inspirational advice.
If you have 5 people watching your video or 5 million people, don't make a video hoping for those 5 million. Make a video talking to those 5.
Or the camera is your best friend.
Especially Grace.
I can't wait to eat a chicken sandwich.
And then we went out to lunch, and what else happens at lunch other than running into really cool people? I ran into William Haynes from SourceFed. So then I asked him about what he thought about the season finale, and he told me that the Orange Walkers were coming to kill everybody, which I really appreciated. And then I tweeted him my picture, and he favorited it, and that was super cool. I feel like I'm ending everything with, and that was really cool, but you know what? It all was really cool, so deal with it. And then after that we went to the John and Hank meetup. It was amazing to be in a room with so many nerd fighters. There must have been 5,000. The Nerdfighteria was really how I got into YouTube, so that was really interesting. They were so cute together. They were brotherly and adorable and intelligent and funny and interesting and everything they are in their videos, only we got to see it for an hour instead of 4 minutes. I had written them letters earlier in the day that I was really hoping I could get to them. I talked to the security guard and I said, hey, I'm not going to take pictures. I'm not going to talk to them. I just want to give them these 2 pieces of paper. And he let me through and was like, hey, John, can I please give you this letter? He was like, yeah, sure, thanks. And that was super awesome and really sweet of him. And from there, we went straight into the line for that night's concert. Corey Vidal walks by. Corey Vidal, who's kind of spearheading Vlogumentary. And we got to talk to him and ask him about what was happening with Vlogumentary and kind of get our own personal little update. And that was amazing. And then the Fine Bros from all the React videos walked by and we got to take a picture with them. Slow and kind of sad as the concert the night before had been was as epic and amazing as night 2 concert was, and it opened with Megan Tonjes singing awesome songs. The Gregory brothers came and they played the beautiful hits. And then Hank and the Perfect Strangers played, and they just rocked it, and Hank sang faster than any human in all of history could have possibly sang. And it was cool to see him with a band instead of just him and his guitar, which was very different, and so much energy, and fun, and nerdiness. And I could see John out in the audience waving his arms and cheering his brother on, which was just really sweet and adorable. And then Watsky came and just owned everything. Because Watsky is just one of the best live performers I've ever seen. And then We the Kings came on, and it was super cool because I'm a CTFXCer too, and you'll see how close I get to Charles. Then afterwards, we were just walking out of the concert, and my friend kind of nudges me, and I turn around, and I wasn't really expecting to see anyone, especially with how crazy everything had been. But I turn around, and Emma and Knightley from Emma Approved are there, and I was just so not expecting them. I was like, hi! We got to say hi, and we got to take pictures, and no one was really talking to them, so we were just kind of hanging out with them for like 5 minutes. And then we leave the concert hall, and Elliot Morgan, ex-SourceFed person, was just walking around, and we got to take a picture with him. He was really nice. Everyone was really nice. I feel like I'm being really repetitive, but just everyone was really nice and cool and sweet and funny. Day 3 was probably my favorite day just because it was the most VidCon-y. More people were walking around. It really just was like last year. Last year at VidCon, I did not get to see John and Hank. The line was capped right before I got there, and it was heartbreaking, and I refused to let that happen to me again. So I woke up at 4:30 a.m. And I went with my friend and we got in line at 5:22 in the morning. Yes, it was very specific. We were like around the 200th-ish person, and everyone was just really nerd-fightastic, and they never forgot to be awesome. It was really cool because we were hanging out with 15-year-old nerd fighters and 20-year-old nerd fighters and 35-year-old nerd fighters just within our little circle of people. And once they opened the floodgates, once John and Hank came out, no one rushed, no one moved, everyone just kind of walked calmly and collected and was patient for their turn and didn't want to cut anyone and was really sweet. And the Jack and Finn line was right next to us, so I got a super cool close picture of them. That was fun. And then I got to talk to John and Hank and thank them for taking my letters, and I got to give John a sports update because Brazil was playing in the World Cup right as they were doing their signing, and I got to ask him about the P4A writing perk, which he had promised me would come out this week. Still waiting, but that's okay, he's busy. And then I got to talk to Hank, and Hank got to yell at John for not having finished the P4A writing perk, and I got a high five. And even though it was maybe 2 minutes, it was what felt like a really calm 2-minute conversation with someone that I knew, more than any other conversation I'd had with a YouTuber in the last 2 years of VidCon. I just felt really comfortable talking to John and Hank, which is weird because they're probably the people that I'm just fans of and idolize and respect the most, but it was just like talking to people, and it was really cool. And then from there, I got to go straight into the Ally Speed signing line, which had like a 10-minute line for it, and I got to see her brother and her friends, and it was really cool seeing her, especially after everything that's happened in the CTFXC, and just kind of give her some of the love after everything that's happened. And then Tomska literally had 0 people waiting for him. And then I ran into Leah from Teens React, and I got to say hi and take a selfie. And then I got to meet Esther Earl's mom, Esther Earl, who is the inspiration and to which Tiffios is dedicated to, and her mom, who runs the Star Won't Go Out Foundation. And it was really fun. We got to hang out for 5 minutes and just chat. And then I ran into Matt Lieberman from SourceFed. You will see the SourceFed pattern continuing throughout this day. And then we ran into Chester C, who had like a relatively short line considering it's Chester C. And then Steve Zaragoza from SourceFed, who was just walking around. In the expo hall, there was a silent disco, which basically means people put on headphones and start dancing, so they kind of look crazy to everyone else, but in their own heads, they're having a little dance party. Louie and Alfie just decided to come down and hang out with people in the expo hall and go to the disco. So we like accidentally ran into Louie and Alfie, which was super cool. And we got to hang out and see them dancing, and I actually ended up in Louie's vlog from that, and we got to take more selfies and just hang out a little bit more. It was cool because they were really trying to meet their fans and be normal and hang out with people, and people weren't really freaking out how you would have expected them to freak out. And yes, they were excited, but there was only the normal number of people there, and people weren't trampling them and mobbing them, and it was just cool to hang out. And then in the expo hall, there was the Pemberley Digital booth, and they had all of the props from the Lizzie Bennett diaries, and we got to put them on and take really cute pictures. We caught the little tail end of the Gregory Brothers Q&A, in which they made us harmonize and sound really cool. There was the Philly D Q&A, and we got to see baby Trey. It was awesome because the second he brought the baby out, everyone got really quiet and respectful, and it was really nice. Leaving the Phil Q&A, I saw Josh Sundquist going down the escalator, and I didn't get a picture of him, but this is him. And I told him that we should hang out sometime, and he smiled and waved, and that was really cute. And then I got lunch, and possibly the most embarrassing thing that happened to me at VidCon. When we got lunch at the food trucks, Trisha Hirschberger from SourceFed and her boyfriend were in line behind us. So after we both ordered and we were kind of waiting on the side for our food, I said hi. And I talked about Game of Thrones with her for a little bit, and spoiler alert, some of the Lady Stoneheart stuff, spoilers over. And at the time, I had my phone, because I'd just taken a selfie, in my hands, and I had my bag, and my posters, and sunglasses, and my water bottles. Somehow in 2 hands, and then the lady calls my name, and I grab my wrap. There wasn't room in my hands, and I dropped my wrap, and it just had like 10 things fall out of my hands at once after the wrap. It was really awkward, and she was like, oh no, and it was sad. But then the lady at the food truck offered to make me a new wrap, which was really sweet of her. Trisha was like, success! And then I got my food and left awkwardly because, We went back into the expo hall, where we re-met the people from Emma, but this time Harriet was there. And Knightley and Emma remembered us from the night before, and then Knightley offered me a chip, and that was really sweet. We just talked for a little bit. And then leaving there, Tanya Burr and Jim Chapman kind of walked by us, and I got a quick selfie. We met up with Emma Blackery, who did have like 10 people who wanted to say hi. Because I'd really wanted to see her, but she didn't really have any panels that I'd been able to go to, and she didn't have an official signing. But then we just saw her standing around, and we got to say hi, and it was really cool. And then we went to the closing of Vidcon main stage, where Hank played Video Game Books, his song about Fault in Our Stars.
Your video game books, they might get me funny looks, but Staff Sergeant Max Mayhem gets me high. I'm starting to see not just what you want from me, but what you want.
And then John Green interviewed O2L. And this is pretty much what we heard for the extent of the interview.
guys are loud.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
After that was the SourceFed / Philip DeFranco hosted Game of Ninja, which is the world record-breaking Game of Ninja every year. Even though like 70% of the people get out within the first 10 minutes, including me, we all got to hang out and ooh and ah and get suspenseful.
2, 3, Ninja!
Yeah, let's not worry about it.
Oh, so close.
Something inherently relaxed about the SourceFed people and the fans of them, so that they could walk around and not get mobbed and just be normal people. So I just walked up to Phil and asked for a selfie and said hi. Then it was VidCon prom, which sounded really lame, and we hadn't really planned on going, and we'd probably gotten a collective 8 hours of sleep within 3 nights. But we decided to go anyway. We showed up around 10ish, and it ended up being really, really fun. And the DJ played pretty good music, and we had the glow-in-the-dark necklaces. And some people got very into the dancing, which was cute. And the friends who I went with, who are twins, were adorably dancing together. In the back, and these 2 guys were just super awesome, really funny, and they were pumping everyone up, and they had their own little dance circle, and they were just kind of running around and getting everyone else excited, and just kind of pulled everything together and made it really, really fun. We were right next to the YouTubers who decided to go to the dance party, so I saw Mika Kitty again and Liam Dryden and just kind of asked them for pictures, and they were really chill and casual about it. To sleep, and we woke up the next morning, and we took the 8-hour car trip back home. VidCon was really fun, really crazy, crowded, loud, unique experience, really cool people, really crazy people, really passionate people. I hope that VidCon can continue to be as amazing of an experience as it is every year, but I think unless it's going to turn into Comic-Con, something's going to have to change next year. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Stay awesome.